Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Vacationing as a Young Professional, brought to you by the UMass Amherst Alumni Association. My name is Nicole Young, and I serve as the Assistant Director for Young Alumni and Constituent Programs for the Alumni Association, and I will be hosting this evening's session. Before we begin, a few housekeeping rules. All participants will be muted throughout the presentation in order to reduce background noise. This virtual chat will be recorded, and the recording will be posted to the Alumni Association's YouTube channel in the coming weeks. By joining this session, you are giving your consent to such recordings. We have a limited amount of time, so we will save Q&A for the end. As the presentation is taking place, if you have a question, please use the chat function to send your questions to me. I will compile your questions, and our presenter will answer at the end of the presentation. And now, without further ado, I'm very excited to begin tonight's event by introducing our presenter. Felicia Blaze of UMass Amherst's class of 2011 is a travel strategist and a certified financial education instructor. She advises millennials on how to save money and pay down debt to experience the world regardless of their financial limits. Blaze's travel adventures began at UMass during a summer abroad program in San Jose, Costa Rica. There she learned the value of immersive cultural experiences and since then has developed a love for travel. As part of Blaze's adventures, she has visited many places from the historic cities of China to the vibrant streets of Havana, Cuba, and more. By leveraging various travel strategies, she has traveled up to 7 times a year, oh my God, while working a full-time job, paying down debt, and living in New York City. Thank you, Felicia, for contributing your time and expertise this evening.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. That was actually a really great introduction. Really great introduction, actually. Yeah, no, I'm excited to be here. So let's get started. So yes, I'm presenting on vacationing as a travel professional, and traveling has been one of my passions always, like ever since I got on a plane and had that experience in Costa Rica. It's something that I've longed for and continue to do because I just, again, see the value of culturally immersive experiences and having that human-to-human interaction with people. A lot of times we miss out on it because we're on social media, but traveling just does something else. Like for me, it shifts my life. Every time I get on that plane, it does a shift. So I want to share some of my strategies because I want to encourage other millennials like myself to get on that plane, to have these immersive experiences and see the world and challenge your perspectives. So like Nicole said, my mission is for everyone to experience a world, not financial limits. And there's a reason why a lot of people don't travel, and we'll talk about that in a few. And before I get there, I actually want to know, where is your dream travel destination? So if you can put that in the chat box, that would be great. I want to know where you guys' dream travel destination is. That would be great. Let's see, Bali, yes. I actually really want to go to Bali. Turkey, India, Russia, yes. Australia, that flight is going to be completely killer. Oh my gosh. Every time I think about going to the other side. Yeah, no, but yeah, Bali, Turkey, India, Russia, Australia, those are really good locations. Any part of Europe. Yes, New Zealand. I've heard it's completely beautiful. Oh my gosh. Yeah. These are great locations. Great locations. Far, but great locations. Yeah, so, oh yeah, Bora Bora, Abu Dhabi, yeah, Bali. I feel like there's like a rave right now with Bali, with everyone just going there right now. I'm actually headed to Thailand next month, and I wanted to go to Bali, but there's just not enough time. But yeah, no, that's really, really cool. Thank you guys for sharing. Yes, Thailand. Okay, great. So I'm going to share my travel destination, and it's one of those off the map places. It's the Maldives. Has anyone heard of the Maldives? So the Maldives is actually located in the middle of the Indian Ocean. There's a lot of political conflict there right now, so I wouldn't go, but it's located in the middle of the ocean. I love GIFs. So and I love blue water and just being able to, yeah. So you've definitely heard of Maldives. Yeah. Definitely, they basically have little huts in the middle of the water. And for me, I love water. There's just something that calls me to it. It's located in the Maldives. So a lot of times people don't go to travel destinations because guess why? Why is the number one reason why people don't travel? And yes, yeah, money is like the huge factor, a huge factor. And I can go, yeah, money and time, absolutely. And I can go on and on about like money and like how it works, like how money is like a tool. And I know at times, like, you know, we have priorities and bills. But again, you have to decide like what you value and then figure out how you're going to make it happen for yourself. So I'm a true believer in manifesting what you want and being intentional with everything that you do. Not to say I know finances can always be like a huge issue. However, there's always a way around things, and it doesn't necessarily always have to involve money. And I'm going to explain to you a little bit further soon. So like you guys said, money is the number one reason why people don't travel. And it was one of the main reasons that as a little girl, like I grew up in an immigrant family. One of the reasons why we didn't travel because money was tight, and we didn't like traveling wasn't something that we valued. Like we valued, and even when we traveled, we went back home. Like that was just a thing. It's like vacation. What? That's a luxury. And one of the main things that I want to do is debunk the idea that vacations or trips or travel, whatever, is like a luxury, because there's so much that you can learn from traveling. So I say this all to say, because going to college at UMass, I had the amazing opportunity to do all these things. UMass was very generous during my time there. And while I was there, I knew I wanted to travel, but I was just like, international. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that yet. So I did Florida. I went to Florida International University through the National Student Exchange Program. So they have that at UMass. You can go and you can go through financial aid with UMass. So I went to Miami, and Miami is like a melting pot itself. So even though I wasn't out of the country necessarily, I was still having those immersive experience because it's just, again, a melting pot. So then it continued, and I was like, okay, I think I'm absolutely ready to take this to the next level. I'm like, all right, we're gonna go do an international study abroad program in Costa Rica. So I stayed there for about a month and a half, and I studied Spanish for health professionals. I lived with a host family who did not speak any English. That was very interesting. So it forced me to have to speak Spanish and to learn. And those are one of those experiences that I'm like, wow, I'll never forget this, because this sort of started my wave of traveling. Then it also continued even at graduate school. So it didn't stop at UMass. I went to graduate school, and there was an opportunity to do an alternative spring break in Nicaragua. So I did it with a nonprofit organization that helps fund houses and provides supplies for underprivileged communities there. Went over there, blast, like amazing experience. We slept on cots, like basically the chickens were right there, like waved the storm. Like it was just awesome, because like you truly just realize how material things don't matter. And even with people who have little, they have so much. They have way, like so much more than what we have, like when we value material things. So continuing on, like I've had the opportunity, even like, you know, moving to New York and struggling a little bit financially when I got here, because I didn't realize how expensive it was. You know, everyone has a dream of moving to New York. But I figured it out. I advocated for myself, found a better job. And through my time here, I traveled to China, Colombia, Curacao, Cuba, Panama, like everywhere. Like I've been a lot of places, and my travel is continuing because I've made it a priority, because it's something that I value. So yeah, something that I completely value and I prioritize, still while having my finances in check, still while putting away for like emergency fund, and still while paying down debt. So I truly believe you can have a balance, and that is what I'm preaching today. So continuing on, so this is one of my favorite quotes, because traveling does leave you speechless and turns you into a storyteller. Because when you travel, you literally, hold on, I just realized that my slides are being blocked. So when you travel, it leaves you speechless, but you always have those stories. If you think about things that you purchase, like you kind of like them and then you get over them. But think about the memories that you create when you travel, whether you're by yourself or with others. That's something that people can't take away from you ever, ever, ever. So I want you to sort of like like, think about that. Like, if traveling is a priority for you, think about like the benefits of it. So even while that, like, with traveling, one of the things that you want to do, so a lot of times people travel and maybe your finances might not be in order or like in check. One of the things that I highly, highly preach, and this is how I've been able to do it, is create a budget for success. And I know the word budget comes a lot with deprivation. Like, we just think of it as being deprived, but it's just a plan for your money. Like, where are you putting your money? Where are you keeping track? And are you on track for your goals? So it's basically just your income minus your spending purpose equals your monthly budget. Nothing more, nothing less. And it allows you to be really transparent for yourself. So this is sort of like a screenshot of like an old, I think I did like an old webinar, but it's just an old budget sheet of just keeping track of where your money is going, whether you're saving. And like, even when you're budgeting, take account for everything. Because a lot of times we forget to add things, like including like your Netflix, but even add in a line item for fun money. And even within that budget, include a savings for your budget so that you can put away a set amount, whether it's biweekly, weekly, or twice a month, whatever the case may be, or what would work for you. And if you're not like a spreadsheet person, you can use Mint, which is another app. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. You can use Clarity Money. Fudget is new. It's very manual, and I like it because I have different accounts for different things just to separate and like funnel my money. So the fact that I'm able to manage it manually a little bit keeps me on track. So those are some of my recommendations when it comes to app, and all of these apps are on my phone. So with that being said, when it comes to your finances, I know a lot of times it's like, oh,
webinar about vacationing as a young professional.
Hey, I can hear you. I don't know who's on here. How do we mute everyone? Oh, okay. So yes. So I know with jobs, like when you have your job or whatever, like a lot of times, like we don't advocate for ourselves. So it may not always be like, I mean, salary is important, but there are other ways you can advocate for yourself. Like personally for me, I advocated where I'm able to work remotely, like one time a week. And I asked, like, if you don't ask, you're never going to know. So that's something that I value since I live in New York City and I have to commute. So again, advocate for yourself. And even when it comes to vacation time. So moving on to the next topic is like, how do you maximize your paid time off? I know depending on your profession, whether you're a teacher or wherever you work, like you might get your vacation days up front. You might have to accumulate them over time, or you have to take it during specific times. So one of the things that I do is every year, like I create a Google Calendar and I just mark holidays that I know that I'm off. So I create a separate calendar in my Google Calendar and I just mark what days I have off. And then after that, I go through and I see, okay, when is the best time for me to travel given like my commitments for work or just other things that I have going on. And even when you're thinking about the times to travel, you can take off like 1 day or 2 days instead of like 4 days because you have that time off. So it's kind of like extending your paid time off without using all of your days. Another tip that I would say, even when you're maximizing your time, it's sometimes good to leave or go somewhere in the middle of the week. And that's because it's genuinely cheaper, like absolutely cheaper. Like if you leave like on a Tuesday and come back on a Friday, it's always cheaper. And if you ever check for flights on Fridays to like Sundays or Mondays, it's always higher because that's when people travel the most. So that's that. So that's how you maximize your time off. Create the calendar. So again, step 1, write down all the holidays that you have from work and put them in your Google Calendar. Step 2, take a few minutes and just review each month, like what's the best time for you to take off, given like random holidays, and extend it, and then start planning out your days. I already said this, but those are literally my 3 simple steps of like how I maximize my time so that I'm not using all my days. And I'm fortunate enough that I have like all these days and I'm sort of like flexible, but I always put in my vacation ahead of time. Like I'm always planning in advance of where I want to go so that my job knows maybe 3 months ahead of time or 2 months ahead of time, like I'm going here, I'm taking this time off. So that's something to think about. So moving on with that, so you maximize your time. You're maximizing your time. You're just like, man, like, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? So before I get into that, I kind of want to explain the difference between taking a trip or traveling and a vacation. So when I think about a trip, it's like you're visiting sites, you're mingling with the people, you have that cultural immersive experience, you're doing historic sites, just everything. And then when you think about vacation, it's more so like relaxing. You don't really have anything planned. You're probably going to all inclusive. Maybe you'll go to a few excursions here and there, but it's overall relaxing. And I don't know, like people are just like, well, what's the difference between traveling, vacation, or taking a trip and vacation? It's completely different experience when you're just going out there and like seeing and being one with the culture and what's happening there. So I wanted to detail that. So with that being said, I have a question for you guys. Which do you like most? Like, do you like taking trips or do you like taking vacations? Because I like both, but I enjoy trips more. Wait, let's see if I can see this chat. You guys can write in the chat, by the way. You like trips, you need structure, for sure. I agree. I like taking trips. I love traveling. Yeah, because you just learn so much. Yes, I completely agree with you guys. Yeah. It's kind of good to sort of like step out of your comfort zone and just see what other people are doing and get out of like your bubble. Like, I think that's so important. Yes. I'm a planner too. Like you should see, like I plan on Trello, which is like a project management tool, but I just love planning for sure. So with that being said, since we're talking about planning, I want to talk to you guys about travel SMART goals. So I set SMART goals with anything and everything that I do. Cause again, I like being intentional, and I'm like, if I want something, I'm like, how am I going to get it? And I always say that, like, if you really want something bad, like the universe will somehow conspire with you to make it happen. So it's not coming against you. Yes, trips are exhausting. It's not coming against you, but yeah, I still like, again, I like to set SMART goals, and I'm not going to read off of that. I'm sure you guys know what SMART goals are, but it's like time relevant. So I know earlier I asked you guys what your favorite trips are. I'm going to walk you through sort of my SMART goal planning and how I break down my goals and break everything out and plan everything ahead, just so you can see how I break things down. So I told you guys I want to go to the Maldives. This is actually a real picture from the Maldives and how they have the little huts on the water. It's beautiful, right? So how I set my goals, like I literally lay it out. Like I want to go for X, Y, and Z on what day, how many months, and how much I need to save a month. Again, that's being very, very intentional.
And then on top of it, like randomly, he was like, I looked on top of it, like.
Oh, but yeah. So for example, this is how I broke it down. Like I want to go to the Maldives for my 31st birthday. Completely made this up on June 20th in 2019. So that's 15 months away. And so when you're looking to plan your trip, I would go either on TripAdvisor or go on Orbitz, like just to see approximately how much the package is. I literally just made this number up. It's probably more. So I need to save $3,000. So it's specific, it's goal-oriented, it's time-oriented, and it has like a number. So I am going to go to the Maldives, and I'm probably going to break it out so I know like how to do this. So then you tell yourself, this means I have to save the amount you need to save divided by how many months away. And then that's the amount that you put in your travel savings fund. So yeah, I had $3,000 divided by 15 is $200 per month in the travel savings fund. So just a tip, what I like to do is, because I like to purchase my trips ahead of time, like 3 months ahead of time, 3-4 months, like I minus like the 4 months. And obviously that means the amount per month would go up, but I would find other ways to figure out how to get that money. Or I would use different tools, like maybe I'll book like the hotel and the flight separately. Depending, like again, it's going back and forth and figuring out what's the cheapest and what works best for you. And if you're using travel rewards points, that's a whole other story, which we're going to get into in a few. So you have your goal. The next thing that you would want to do is open up a savings account for travel. So I told you guys I have 1 million accounts, and it's true because I like to separate my money. So I actually have a savings account specifically for travel. And every month I put money away in it. Like it's not even like a set amount. I think every month, depending on my priorities at that time, like I put away for it. So one of my favorite banks, so it's like an online institution. It's called Rise Money. You go to risemoney.com, it'll show up. It's basically a millennial way of banking. So you have one like savings account, you connect it to your main checking, and you have the ability to set multiple goals. So you can set like emergency fund, travel fund, and you can be very specific. So you can set the goal like, okay, I need to save $2,000. And as you put into it, like it'll show you where you are in your progress and like what date you're going to get there. So this is why I like to use it for travel, because then I can be very specific with my travel fund. Can you mute? I hear someone in the background. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So again, different. And I always say that your savings account should be in a different financial institution, because the last thing you want to do is like start transferring. It's very easy that if it's in the same account for it to just transfer and then you spend it. So you want to be very intentional about that. And one of my favorite things to do is to just set a SMART goal in there, and then automate it. So I know automation can be a little bit scary for people because it's like, I don't want people taking money out of my account without me telling me. But if you have your budget and you have that set amount, okay, fine. You don't want to automate it, but just make sure that you're reviewing your budget every month and you're putting money in there. And the last thing is to make sure that you name your account and just be very specific. Like my trip to Bali, like be very specific so that you know, and it's a constant reminder, like, okay, I'm saving for this specific trip. Great. So one of the questions we want to ask is, what is travel hacking? Travel hacking is one of my favorite things to do. It's very intricate. Like there's so many tricks that you can do to get free flights. For the purposes of this, I'm just going to give you the basics because there's just so many intricacies. And if you guys have questions, I'm happy to answer them at the end. So travel hacking is the art of using miles and points to earn free or nearly free travel without stepping foot on the plane. So you do not step foot on the plane. And how do you do that is you use your everyday purchases that you buy, whether you're eating or maybe you could pay your rent on your credit card. I don't know, whatever the case may be, but you put it on the card so you can get the miles. And if you have the cash, you pay it off. And I only advise this to people who do not have credit card debt, and who can pay off their credit cards on time, because travel hacking does not work if you do not pay it off at the end of the month, because then they collect interest on you and it sort of drags and you're no longer like getting the benefits. And credit card companies hate people like me because I pay off my credit card every month because I'm like, not giving you any of my money, but I am going to reap all the benefits of this card. So I also wanted to tell you guys and distinguish between frequent flyer miles. So frequent flyer miles, every airline pretty much has them. Like JetBlue has it, Delta, Spirit might have it. I don't fly Spirit, and that's just a personal choice. But so anyone can get it. You can go on their website and sign up, and anytime you fly, you get the frequent flyer miles. So anyone can get it. But the thing is that those frequent flyer miles, like separate from like a card, you only get those when you fly. So you can't really accumulate points. Versus like when you have a credit card that's attached to a specific airline or gives you rewards, it allows you to not only put your miles towards points. Does that make sense? So yeah. So rewards, so I'm going to explain that in a second, Diana. So yeah. So you have frequent flyer miles. Like for example, I'm going to say this again. Southwest has frequent flyer miles, and every time you fly, you can get them. You might not have the credit card, but you can just sign up for free. It's free. But again, you only earn miles when you fly. which is just like, okay, it's going to take me forever to even get like a plane ticket. Versus like whenever you have like a credit card that's attached to a specific airline, you'll get the miles and / points towards the travel. Not to say that there are other credit cards that aren't attached to specific airlines and you could still earn points, but just be mindful, like when you're looking for cards, there are like airline specific, if you fly to specific airlines, and there are ones that are just like, they give you points and you can redeem them for travel. Does that make sense? I know someone wrote, is this the same as using rewards points? Yeah, and I'm going to explain that. So just to explain, so there's a difference between cashback and travel rewards. So cashback cards, usually when you're looking at them, and I'm sure you get bombarded with them in the mail or emails where just like, yeah, get 5% cash back at your grocery, movie theater, and like retail stores. So with cashback cards, they literally, you're kind of limited to what they tell you. Not to say all of them, but a lot of them, you're limited to what you can buy with the cash, or you can apply it towards your credit card. I mean, this is great, but if you like traveling, why not get a travel rewards card? So a travel rewards card, you'll notice that they'll be advertising bonus airline miles for signing up, or points and discounts. And points and miles are like the same thing, just FYI. So that's how you notice like between cashback and travel rewards. If anything says points or miles, just know it's like travel rewards. And then if it's like cashback, it's just a cashback card and you're limited to what you can buy. So how do you know how do I know what's the right card for me? And I know everyone's asking that question, and honestly, there's so many factors, and I can't really tell you guys what the right card is for you. But what I can tell you, it depends, again, on your credit history. Because, again, based on your credit history, you can get certain cards and other cards you can't get. Your spending habits. Do you spend a lot of money? Are you swiping? Are you able to sort of control your budget? Because like I said, travel hacking doesn't work if you have tons and tons of credit card debt. You can't reap the benefits. And it also depends on your own personal needs and goals. Like, what is your goal? Like, do you want to fly once a year, once a month? Is it that you just want to use it for this one trip? So if you're in the market for a new card and not sure where to start, I actually recommend going to nerdwallet.com and thepointsguy.com. They're actually really great, and they do a lot of credit card comparisons. So you can go on there and look like, okay, I'm looking for a travel card. And maybe I don't want an annual fee. I want a sign-on bonus. And I'm actually going to walk you guys through that as well. Like, I want a sign-on bonus. I want X, Y, and Z. You can do all those card comparisons and see what's right for you. It's all on preference, and you decide. So guys, I went to LA. So I don't know, randomly. So I went to LA for $1.20. A lot of people don't believe me, but I have receipts, and I'm going to show you guys how I did it, and I'm going to walk you through my process. So one, I signed up for a travel rewards credit card, and it happened to be my first travel rewards card was the Delta Sky Miles card. And I chose it because I travel Delta a lot. I like them a lot. And not only that, they're also a part of okay, let me explain this. With any airline, they're a part of an alliance. So Delta Airline is a part of Sky Alliance. So if you ever go on any airplane or, oh my gosh, any like website for like an airline, like you'll see like we're a part of like Sky Alliance or One World Alliance. So that means that even though you're not actually flying Delta, there are other airlines that are partner airlines that you could still earn points or double points for. So I signed up for Delta Sky Miles, and it was zero annual fee for the first year and $95 after that. Then it was 16% to 24% interest APR, so annual percentage rate. And honestly, that didn't bother me. Why? Because again, I'm travel hacking. Although interest rate seems scary, if you're travel hacking, you shouldn't care about the interest rate because you're paying it off quickly. Like, this is not a card that you leave a balance on. So with that, then I also had the 30,000 mile bonus offer. So that's approximately $300 after you spend $2,000 in purchases within the first 3 months. For me, I mean, obviously everyone's expenses is different, but for me, like between like rent, like food, groceries, like whatever, like for me, it's very easy, like within 3 months to just get that. And then you get another $50 credit after you purchase a flight. So if you purchased it off of Delta website, even better. So why did I choose Delta? Like I said, I fly with them frequently. They're part of Sky Alliance. And I love that American Express has pre-sale benefits. So I get like ticket pre-sales, lounges. So you get access to their lounges in the airport if you ever have a layover. I believe depending on the card, you get like a discount on it. You get other discounts on stuff. So sometimes like in New York City, there's restaurant week and they'll give you like $10 towards any restaurant. So if you go to a restaurant within like the restaurant week for small businesses, you'll get like that credit to your card, which is amazing. You get priority boarding. I love it. I don't know if you guys travel, but I hate like being like group number 4 and I'm the last one. And then I have my luggage and I can't put it in the overhead bin because everyone else took it. So now because I have priority boarding, I'm usually in like group 1, not in like the Sky priority sort of section, but I still get on there quickly and I have no hassle. And then you also get other perks like 50% in-flight purchases. So if I buy food and it's like $20, I pay 10, they credit it to your account. You get a free check bag, $50, and I don't have any foreign transaction fees. And that's something to look for too. For a card, like if you're traveling abroad, not to get foreign transaction fees because they add up, like 50 cents, $1.24, like if you keep swiping it, it adds up. So as you can see, even though like the annual fee is $95, if I fly them enough, like I'm already getting more out of that, like $50 check bag, all that stuff. Like I'm already getting more out of the card. So I thought, I'm like, you know what? This is what benefits me. So then I took advantage of the large sign-on bonus. And I want to tell people that this is really important, that you should take advantage of it and find a way to get it quickly if you have a goal to travel. So what I did is I happened to be, during the time when I got the card, I happened to be in the market for a new car and I was going to put down a down payment for like $3,000 on the car. So I was in the market and I'm like, I was like, I could like give the cash for the car or I can just put it on my credit card and just pay it off. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to put it on the card because then I'll just get a free plane ticket. So as soon as it went through, I paid it off. I purchased my ticket to LA. It was $351.20 to be exact. And I bought it. So remember that $30,000 sign on, which is $300 towards points, that applied to the credit. And then I got a $50 credit on my card. So in total, I only paid $1.20 for this flight. And I can show you guys here, like I have a screenshot because people never believe me. And I'm like, yes. So as you can see, the ticket amount is like $351.20. And then like they charged me $51. But then if you look here, I got the credit right here. And you could see like the little rewards. Like I went to restaurant week and they like give me extra points. So this is why like I chose this card. And I'm not advertising for Delta. I'm just showing you or American Express, just showing you the benefits. So I got the statement credit from Delta. Voila, $1.20. So all I really honestly had to worry about was putting money away for like food or like travel. So I'm trying to think so just some points, like in terms of like credit card rewards, like you should, so here's what I do. I have like a funnel where like I sit there and I wrote down like specifically what can I put on my card? Because again, not everyone allows you to put your rent on your credit card or whatever. I decide like, okay, what can I put on my card and how can I get those points? And then another like trick is to stay within the alliance if you can. Obviously, it's not always possible depending on where you're going because they are partner airlines and you'll accumulate points faster. And pay off the card every month because if you don't pay it off, like you're not going to benefit. And then another great way to get points faster is to add a card holder to earn points quicker. And I caution people on doing this because maybe the other person who has the card might not pay it off. And then like you're kind of screwed with you're stuck with a bill and you have to pay interest. And I know some people as friends, like I personally wouldn't do it, where like they'll get a card that has like a $495 annual fee, and they'll split it, like it'll be 5 people, but they'll use the points to travel. I mean, it works great, but I personally wouldn't do it. But that's how people earn points in Travel Hack. And another way, so the travel hacking, like people who are super like pros, and I don't recommend this if you're in a market for a house or you're gonna buy stuff because your credit like takes hits, is like you can get multiple cards with sign-on bonuses. And so credit cards have sort of started catching on to this, how like they'll open cards, sign on, and then like close the cards or just leave it open, get the bonuses, and don't really like do much with it. So they like limit, and I believe it's like 6 months. So you can apply for like a new card like every 6 months. But again, I caution you with that. But it's great because you can take advantage of the sign-on bonuses. And then one of the things that I also do in terms of the credit card is I always ask if they can waive the fee. So I literally, like, if you don't ask, you will never know. I literally call them and I'm like, hi, I noticed my annual fee's coming up. What can you do for me? Like, I literally am like, no, but what can you do for me? Like, can you waive this? And I've gotten yeses. And if they don't, like, I always come back with like, well, I'd like to close the card. And like, when you go back and forth with customer service, they're like, okay, like, we will waive the fee. So if you don't ask, they're not going to do it. So then you have another year of fee-free and you're reaping the benefits. Or you have the option to close the card and you don't necessarily, so depending on how long you have the card, if it's your first year, again, closing accounts, like your credit takes a hit a little bit and then it goes back up. I don't recommend doing this if that's like the longest like credit line that you've had, because then again, your credit takes a hit. But just be very cautious when it comes to the credit card in general. So, okay. Some travel tips and some of the things that I've used is you always chase the deal, not the location, if you want to save money. So a lot of times, yeah, I want to go places, but places kind of come up. And some of these places and I'll show you guys a slide in a minute. Some of these places, like they come up where there's like an airfare and I'm like, oh, I'm going. Like, I happened to go to Cuba, not because like it was a destination that I wanted to go to, but because I seen out of New York, they had flights for like $200. So I'm like, what? I have to go. And it's a direct flight. Like I didn't have to do like a hop, a skip, and a jump. So I just like went with it and like invited other people with me. So even with traveling with friends, like it's great because you can split everything and it sort of lowers your costs. Another thing that I want to tell you guys is like, think about like off-peak and on-peak season. Like on-peak seasons for a lot of destinations in the Caribbean and like spring break is the Caribbean. So you wouldn't really go then. Like sometimes I like to go to places on off-peak. And what I mean by off-peak is like, for example, if you go to Caribbean during, during hurricane season, like August, September, October, like obviously you're taking a risk, but you can still enjoy your vacation and you can watch the weather. And so I've done that. And sometimes I'm like stuck inside with like a storm coming, but I've had a great time. That's a risk that you take if you want to travel for cheap, for the low. And like I said, one of the great things to do is to leave in the middle of the week. Like I like traveling from like Tuesday to Friday or like Tuesday to Saturday because again, it's cheaper. And the way you can see like what flights are cheaper is one, my favorite app is Google Flights. It's actually, there's an app for it and online. So they actually created a new interface for it. And it's great because you can see like, depending on the time that you leave, it'll be cheaper. So, and you can also track it. They added a new tracking feature about a year ago. So I like to use that and Hopper together. And the reason why I don't solo use Hopper, which is another flight tracking, is because they don't track all flights. Like I noticed they're very selective. Like they won't have Delta flights in there. I'm like, well, why am I seeing this in Google? But Google's great because they have an awesome algorithm that pulls all the flights from all the airlines. So you can see what the cheapest is and you can get those notifications. And lastly, like I literally want to leave you guys with like, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And what I'm saying is that if you continue to put money into your savings account, when a deal comes up, you can take advantage of it. So I know I told you guys about catching deals when they come. My favorite, I'm going to tell you guys my favorite. And every day I get an email in my inbox and I'm just like scoping through. I'm like, oh, this is cheap. So if you sign up for their newsletter, so the flight deal, which is like my top favorite, if you sign up for the newsletter, like every day, if you're on the East Coast, you will get an email at 3 p.m. and it'll tell you flight deals that are coming out of your locations. Like I think the other day I seen a flight to like Thailand or something for like $400 or something like that. The same thing for Airfare Watchdog and Travel Pirates. So this is Airfare Watchdog and this is Travel Pirates. I meant to write it down, but yeah. So just sign up for their newsletters. I know it's like, you don't want like more spam in your inbox, but this is another great way to just keep on top of flights, and then using that on top of like Google Flights and Hopper just to track different flights that you think you might to go on. It doesn't hurt to just put it in the tracker and see what happens. So with that being said, I am going to move on to Q&A. If you guys have further questions, let me know. I'm actually looking in the box here. So what's the name of the pair in the middle? It's called Travel Pirates. So they always have deals. Like I'm literally always on like Facebook and it's always popping up. It's probably because I'm always clicking in the middle, but Travel Pirates is actually really good. And another trick that I'm going to tell you guys is I love doing this. I don't know if you're an active, oh yeah, I'll tell you in a second. I don't know if you're an active Twitter user. So what I do, there's actually a feature in Twitter where you can create a separate list. So a list is like a separate feed. And what I did is I added all my favorite travel like deals in there. So whenever I'm on Twitter, I just go and like, that's my feed. So someone just asked me, what is your thoughts on lodging when traveling? Hotels versus hostels versus Airbnb? Honestly, it depends on the location I'm traveling with and how much it costs. Like I'll give you an example. So hostels, like I've stayed in a hostel in Toronto and I only did that because it was super cheap. And it's great for solo travel because you meet other people who are traveling. Like I love it. People are nice. But then again, there's that chance where like if you like privacy, I wouldn't really do a hostel. Like if you don't want to be with other people. In terms of like, for example, hotels or Airbnb, like when I went to Cuba, I stayed in an Airbnb because it was cheaper and that's what everyone was doing. Like after I did my research, the hotels were more expensive. Again, it depends like what kind of trip are you looking for? Are you looking for like something that's cheap that you just want to get there and go? Or do you want something like luxury and extravagant? When I went to Spain, I stayed in a 5-star hotel. Yeah, where do you look up visa information? That's a great question. Where do I look up visa information? Oh my gosh. Why did I draw a blank? I can get back to you, but I know it's like on some US state site and it depends on, oh my gosh. I'll get back to you on that. I can ask Nicole to send you information. Yeah, I'll get back to you. Because not every country you need a visa and you're lucky. Like if you have a US passport, a lot of places you can go wherever without a visa. But a lot of times it's like the embassies. Like for example, like when I went to China, I had to go to like the embassy to like get a visa for like a year. Someone asked me, yeah, Cuba is very interesting. It's not for everyone, I have to say. If you're looking for luxury, you can get it, but I mean, they've been so cut off from the world that it's just very different. It's not your average, like, okay, I'm going to Jamaica and like luxury resort. Like, it's just not like that. Their resources are different, but the people are so friendly. It's so vibrant. Someone asked me, someone said something about, is this the same with using rewards points? What do you mean by that? Oh, I addressed it. Okay. Yes, cashback. Is there a place that you want to visit here in the US? Yeah, actually, I'm interested in going to New Mexico because I want to take a hot air balloon. Like I've always wanted to do that, even though I'm kind of scared of heights, but I've always wanted to go there. Yeah. Like, and I say this to say, even though I'm like, yeah, like catch a flight, like you can have immersive cultural experiences right in your backyard. I live in New York City. There's so much culture here. Like I can learn about someone else's culture, like on the train. Yeah. Where have you had the best food? Oh my gosh, that is so hard. I would have to say Colombia. So I went to Cartagena, Colombia, and like I usually like I taste food on vacation. I usually am not like, oh my god, I have to eat. But like when I went there, the food was like amazing. Like I ate so much, and I was like, I'm gonna regret this later. But it was so good. And I would also say even in China. So I went to like different regions in China, and all the food tastes different. So there's like a part of China that There's a part of China that that they have like a Indian influence, so they have like it's spicy, like it has like curry, so it's interesting. So the food that you have with Chinese food here in the U.S. is not the same as like the Chinese food we have in China. So someone said, I applied for rewards travel card through American Airlines and I was denied. I just graduated from UMass and I guess I didn't have much credit history. Since then, I got a beginner credit card from another credit card dealership. So if you just applied, I would wait. Like I would wait to build up your credit, because every time you apply to different cards, what it does is like you're putting like a credit check on your credit. So I would wait at least like 6 months to a year. Do you need a lot of money to get a credit card like that? No, you don't. Hold on. You don't. I hope I answered your question. Yeah, so you said I'm a foodie, so I start looking at food. Yes. Certain websites like Skyscanner or yes. So someone's drawing. So I love Skyscanner. There's also another website called Skiplag. So Skiplag is great. They actually got sued by United and they won. So I'm gonna explain. So it's called skiplag.com. And what they do is like, let's say your destination is I'm trying to think like how, like in the middle. So let's say you have a destination to California, right? Let's say a plane is going to California, but you want to go to like Chicago or something. I'm completely making this up. And there's a pit stop in Chicago, and it's cheaper to do that than to buy the flight directly. So what you would do is you wouldn't check your bag. That's a trick. So with Skiplag, you can't check your bag. You have to take it on with you. And instead of getting off in San Francisco, you would just get off at your destination and you would save money. So that's like a trick. Kayak, let me see. So with travel card affiliated sites, if you do it through Orbitz, I mean, you'll still get points, but you won't get as much points as if you book through like the Delta like the American Express online portal or through Delta. Again, you have to look at the points, like how, like what each card has. Yeah, so you won't get the points. Like it's weird. So it'll say like Orbitz on your card, and sometimes it won't say the airline. Just a FYI. How often do you travel by yourself, and how do you design that itinerary? So I find myself, that's a great question. So I personally like traveling by myself because sometimes dealing with people is, I wouldn't say annoying, but it's like coordinating, and people are different when you're traveling when you're traveling with them. Like some people like to stay out, or they like to sleep, and they just like to chill. You know, and then like you guys clash, and like I say that you see people's true colors like when you travel with them. A lot of times, like I'm the one like, okay, I'm going this place, I don't know who's going with me, and I just throw it out there, and if people come, they come. If they don't, they don't. I've gone to Chicago by myself, I've gone to Texas by myself, I've gone to the Grand Canyon, Arizona by myself, I've gone to Vegas by myself. I mean, I've gone to Costa Rica by myself, and it's great because you meet people. And I don't feel alone because those people are like, oh, I'm traveling too, like let's hang out. The other day, like I met someone at the Grand Canyon while I was on the bus by myself, and she ended up coming to New York, and then a month later, I ended up in Texas and we did like a whole road trip, and it was just me connecting with her. So that's what I'm talking about, like those relationships that you have when you travel that you otherwise wouldn't have with anyone else. Yeah, worrying about other people and if whether or not someone's enjoying it is definitely, I completely agree. It's annoying. Anyone else have any questions? So before you guys, hold on, have you ever faced safety concerns traveling as a woman? I would say just be cautious, like be mindful, and like it's really bad because in New York, I have like tunnel vision, like I'm like whatever, but then I'm kind of aware of my surroundings. I think it's just being aware of your surroundings, trying not to make yourself look like a tourist. Like don't put your camera around your neck because you definitely look like a tourist and you're carrying like a $300, $400 camera around your neck while someone is trying to get like $1 to like eat. And I definitely, whenever I go places, I always read up. I'm like, is this safe to travel solo? Like I'm always on like Pinterest or like reading other people's blogs because I'm like, if I want to go somewhere, I'm like, I don't want to go and it's not like really safe. But again, just use your street smarts and just be on your P's and Q's when it comes to traveling by yourself. And let people know where you are. Like I literally send people my whole itinerary. I'm like, I'm right here. This is a hotel. This is who I'm staying with. This is my location. This is going to be my whereabouts. So that's how I sort of close that gap when it comes to like safety concerns, traveling alone. Oh, no problem, Diana. Do you have recommendations for planning one trip to multiple locations? Yes. Okay. So even though I'm going to Thailand next month. I'm actually going to 3 different places in Thailand. I chose to sort of plan it myself because I wanted to do it. There's actually a website if you're going to Europe. It's called tripmasters.com where it'll plan everything for you. Like you tell them the destinations you want to go and it'll plan it for you. So I would definitely check that out. So it's Tripmasters. Tripmasters. Yes. Yeah, no, please, like definitely do it. Like I think once you travel, you're welcome. Once you travel by yourself, like it's so different. And don't be scared. Like I actually was with a group of women yesterday and she's traveling to Japan by herself. So can you say anything about international flights versus, what do you mean national, like domestic? Are there any tricks you know about flying outside the country versus like in the country? Can you elaborate a little bit more? Like I would say like in terms of booking flights, sometimes it's cheaper. Yeah, domestic. Okay. Sometimes it's cheaper to buy one ways. Like you just have to see. Sometimes it's cheaper to buy one ways and then come and like buy the other way later. Like, and I would say that's both for international and domestic flights. Like what tricks specifically are you looking for? Yeah, I'm curious. Okay. Like I think I sort of like told you guys some of the tricks like that I do with just, and I would say, yeah, one is try not to check bags if you can. Like if you want to save money, try not to check bags. And again, use these websites like Skiplagged or Skyscanner to find like the cheapest trips. And again, go off peak. Like, okay, so the best time, don't buy flights on the weekends, guys. Do not do it. Like Fridays are like the worst time. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything. Not really. I would say the same goes for both. I mean, obviously international travel, you have to look into like visa, but traveling, whether you're internal, external, it's almost the same. It's almost the same thing, basically. Oh, do you know any travel funded programs or language learning programs like the one you did? No problem. Funded travel programs. So the only program, the one that I did was the ISA. I'd have to look into that because I've been out of school for a bit. I'm trying to think for graduate school. Like you just honestly, you'd have to look for like little nonprofits that do little trips to like help other countries. Sorry, I can't fully answer that because I've been out of school forever. But there are definitely people doing trips, and like even check out Instagram. There's so many people doing mission trips or just taking groups of people there. So I would definitely check that out.
So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. Do we have one more question out there for Felicia before we end this evening?
Yeah, so really quick, I actually have like something for you guys. Like I know I talked about your savings account, so I actually created like a travel fund starter kit, and it walks you step by step on like how to create your travel savings fund. It includes budget worksheets, like just bank recommendations, a SMART goal template, and like even travel site recommendations that I have. And then you could also check out my website, FeliciaBlaze.com, and I will type that. And you can click the link is right here. It's just bit.ly. I'll type it here. Hold on, I can't type. Yeah, so that should be it. And you can download the guide. But that's there for you.
Perfect. So thank you for participating in tonight's virtual event, Vacationing as a Young Professional. In addition to events such as this one, the Alumni Association has a variety of resources to support you as you begin to navigate your career and time beyond campus, including networking events, career development opportunities, and alumni advisors, which is an online networking and mentoring platform connecting you with alumni in your field for career advice, informational interviews, resume feedback, and mock interviews. We will be hosting an event on campus, UMass Remix, on Saturday, April 21st, welcoming back young alumni. Festivities will include a student alumni mixer and campus crawl, which will be a strolling tasting, including beverage pairings, visiting various venues on campus. To learn more about these resources and upcoming events, please visit umassalumni.com. On behalf of the UMass Amherst Alumni Association, we would like to thank Felicia Blaze for making the time to share her expertise with us. Thanks again for joining us this evening. We hope to see you at other Alumni Association events in the future. Have a great evening and go UMass.